All right, we're going to do Chapter 7. This is Contractual Capacity. After we're done with this video, I will do a video to show you the answers to Chapter 6 worksheets, and then you can mark them, hand them back in to me. But I'll explain all that in the next video. So let's go through this. Okay, the question is, are minors bound by all contracts? Okay, because we need to know if they have the capacity, is the legal ability to enter into a contract. So do minors have the capacity to enter into a contract? Okay? So the rebuttal presumption, when individuals enter into a contract, they are permitted by law to presume that the other party or parties have the capacity to contract. All right? This may be challenged in a court of law. The law permits minors within certain limits to rescind or void their contracts. Okay, a person who has not yet reached the age of legal adulthood, known as the age of majority, is considered a minor. So once you turn, we'll get to it in a second, but a minor is up until 18, right? The truth is you really can't rescind a lot of contracts. Firms won't really do business with you when you're a minor unless they go through all the procedures. Okay, most states have lowered the age of majority from 21 to 18 after 1972. You are considered 18 the day before your 18th birthday. Okay, so it's not on your birthday, it's the day before your birthday. Okay, some states have declared that minors who are no longer under the control of parents are emancipated. So if you move out at 16 and get your own place, some states will consider you to be emancipated and that you are able to, you have the capacity to enter into contracts, which this means they're responsible for their contracts. A minor who marries or leaves home gives up all rights to parental support. It's considered emancipated. So if you marry at 17, okay, then you would be considered to have the capacity to enter into a contract. All right? They have abandoned the protection afforded them as minors. So when you get married and you're emancipated, you're giving up all those protections you had. Right? But merchants are still reluctant to deal with such minors because the merchant assumes the shield of minority still protects them. All right, you can't blame businesses because they are concerned with getting screwed in a transaction. What happens if a minor lies about his age so they can enter into a contract? He has committed fraud. Okay, fraud is a wrongful act, and minors are responsible for their wrongful acts. Okay, so if they lie, they will be responsible. In some states, when a minor lies about his or her age and then disaffirms a contract, the other party may sue the minor for fraud. Such a suit would be successful only if all the 5 elements of fraud were present and can be proven by the adult party. So you say, what are the 5 elements, Mr. Mooney, of fraud? Glad you asked, Tiffany. Okay, there must be a false representation of fact. The party making the representation must know it's false. The false representation must be made with the intent that it be relied upon. Yes, I know this is Chapter 6, just a quick review. The innocent party must reasonably rely upon the false representation. Okay, I messed up my PowerPoint. The innocent party must actually suffer some monetary loss. The adult party must prove that the lie caused financial loss. Some states still follow an older law statement: minors cannot be sued for fraud, even when they lie about their age. Okay? Why are minors allowed to void a contract? It's a protective measure so that adults cannot take advantage of a minor. A minor may be immature. We won't touch that one. Inexperienced, like education, or naive. Okay, that should be lack education or naive. The law does not intend, however, to give minor the right to take advantage of other people. Just because in some cases you can void a contract doesn't mean you can just enter into contracts all willy-nilly and stuff. Okay, voidable contracts made by a minor are void by the minor. Minors can disaffirm or void their contract if they so choose. Disaffirm means to show intent not to live up to the contract by statement or some act. Disaffirming gives the young person a second chance when they use poor judgment. If the minor has the merchandise he received upon entering the contract, that merchandise should be returned when the contract is disaffirmed. So let's say Dan goes out and buys a new snowboard. He's under 18. He decides he wants to return it. He wants to disaffirm the agreement. He has to bring back the snowboard. Okay, most states will even permit the minor to disaffirm a contract and will get back the full amount paid for an item, even if the minor no longer has the item. A minor may not disaffirm parts of the contract that are favorable and disaffirm the unfavorable parts. You guys are really big with that in terms of grades, right? You like to keep the good stuff and get rid of the bad stuff. In this case, it's either all or nothing. Okay, when reaching the age of majority, a person can ratify or approve contracts made during minority. So if you made a contract when you were 17 to buy a car and you're leasing it, ratification ends that privilege the person had when they were legal. So when the day before your 18th birthday, that contract can no longer be disaffirmed or void. All right? Ratification can only be done upon reaching majority. It can be done orally, in writing, or by one's actions. What do I mean? Using or selling the item after reaching majority. Right? So if I sell the item to someone else after I turn 18, then that says that I have affirmed the contract. Right? Or if I'm just using the thing. Again, leasing the car, you're making an installment payment. Once you make a payment after you're 18, you're locked in, right? Or keeping the item for a reasonable amount of time. Reasonable is decided by a judge or a jury and depends on the item. A minor is held responsible for the fair value of necessities as long as the parents haven't provided them. If the parents have provided the items, the minor can disaffirm the contract. Special statutory rules. Many states have given minors the capacity to enter into contract for care and life insurance. Limited capacity to minors who are engaged in business. Some states treat married minors as adults. Some see renting as a necessity regardless of whether or not the minor needs it. Parents may need to guarantee contracts made by their children. What about a mentally impaired person? He has the same rights given to a minor or given to the mentally impaired because they are unable to make sound judgment. Before a guardian is appointed, a mentally impaired person's contracts are avoidable. All right, so what I'd like you to do is go through this PowerPoint slide, jot down some ideas, give me four, make up your own examples to these, all right, for 4 different things here, and submit that in the new Google Classroom. All right, I want to keep a running tally of what we have since we've been home. All right, again, stay well. Talk to you soon.